Hello students, it's Sasha. We're going to be looking at Unit 5 materials, and we're going to be talking about cotton, glass, metal, plastic, wood, just to name a few things. And we're going to be looking at what are things made of. So some of these words should be familiar. We talked about glass and metal and plastic when we were talking about recycling. But if you look around your house right now, I bet you can find something made out of glass, something made out of metal, something made out of plastic, something made out of wood, and maybe you're even wearing cotton. Because what our clothes are made out of? Well, we're not really going to be wearing much wood as a t-shirt. That wouldn't work too well, or metal trousers, metal pants, that wouldn't work very well either. We use things like wool, cotton, leather, and even plastic to make clothes. And then on some of those clothes, we have things called labels. The label is the little tag that tells you how to take care of the clothes and what size it is. And so sometimes they can be a little itchy, so some clothes have tagless or labelless features. So some of our materials come from animals like leather and wool. Some come from plants like cotton and wood, and some come from the grounds like marble and gold. So they don't all come from the same place. But then there are some materials that we can even make. So we can make plastic, it comes from oil, glass comes from sand, and metal comes from minerals. So these are all man-made materials, while leather, cotton, marble, wool, wood, and gold are things that come from plants, animals, or the ground. So they're not man-made. And these materials have different properties. So properties are how we can describe them. We can describe it as hard or soft. So if you think of a rock, it's going to be very hard, while cotton, like a t-shirt or a teddy bear, is going to be very soft. We also have things like rough and smooth. Smooth is it's not going to be bumpy, so if you feel the glass, you won't feel bumps in it, while rough is more like Velcro, or if you put sand, salt, or sugar on the counter, it's going to feel very bumpy. It's going to feel rough. We have flexible and rigid. In the picture, they use a garden hose, but things like string is flexible, it's bendy. When you bend it, it won't break, while rigid is something that doesn't bend very easily. So they use a pencil. So if you were to bend a pencil, it would break, it would snap. So rigid is something that doesn't bend very easily. We also have strong and fragile. So something that's strong is sturdy, like the steel, like this bridge, and fragile is something that can break very easily. They're using glass, so if you were to have a glass cup and you dropped it on the floor, you'd have to be careful because it breaks very easily. While our bridge here, if we were to drop it on the floor, would not break very easily. So a material doesn't just have one property. It can have more than one property. So something that is strong can also be hard, can also be rigid, and it can also be smooth. Or maybe something that is flexible can be soft and smooth or soft and rough. So one thing, a material doesn't just have to have one property. So if we think of what's something that we can think of? Of a t-shirt. T-shirt's going to be soft, depending on what's on the t-shirt. It can be smooth or rough, but we'll say smooth. It's going to be flexible because we can bend it and stretch it and do all sorts of things with it and it won't really break. And a t-shirt isn't fragile. So it can be more than one property. Not to mention, we talked about this a little bit before, we can recycle material. So we talked about tin cans. So this is showing us how we can use a material, use it for one thing, we recycle it, and then we can use it again. Here in the example, they're using a tin can, and it goes all the way to the factory to make a new recycled metal, a new tin can. So it's not just cans, we also learned about how paper can be recycled, how plastic can be recycled, how glass can be recycled. So here is our overview of the whole unit. We talked about different materials, and just like the scooter, it can have glass, plastic, metal, and leather. It's not just one. We have different materials that come from animals, plants, and the ground. We have things that can be warm or strong, soft, waterproof. So waterproof is when, think of like an umbrella, the water will bounce off. It won't stick. It won't be sucked up by it. Like a towel is not waterproof. A towel is made to soak up water, to hold on to the water. Something that is waterproof, the water won't hold on. And these are different materials that make up the world around us. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to hear from you soon.